manager of the morgue at Harvard Medical School has been indicted in a scheme to steal body parts and then sell them online. Federal prosecutors say Cedric Lodge stole dissected portions of human cadavers, took them home to his home in New Hampshire, and then sold them online. His wife is also indicted, along with two of the alleged buyers. We are working to gather more information on this story right now. We'll have updates throughout the day on WBZ and CBS News Boston.
Now, this is a wild story coming out of Massachusetts. This is about Harvard and everything that Harvard's been going through over the last week. As you know, Harvard has a lawsuit against President Trump because President Trump has banned Harvard from enrolling any more international students. And that's on the heels of all of the anti-Semitism and all the uproars and all of the protesting and all the disruption that's happened at Harvard. And he cut off the billions of dollars of government funding to Harvard due to the fact of all of their woke policies that they want to push and promote at their school while failing, or should I say refusing, to protect every student that goes there, giving everybody the right to an education if that's what they want to do, and not allowing the riffraff, the protesters, those that want to come through, the disruptors, to mess everything up. So now on the heels of all of that going on, another story has broke. Now, this story broke over a year ago, but the mainstream media downplayed it. Why is that? Because all of your favorite Democrats went to Harvard. You know, Obama's an alumni, Joy Reid, you know, the racist that was on, the black racist lady that was on MSNBC. All of these people are alumni of Harvard. And we know what type of BS comes out of Harvard. So on the heels of all that, Harvard now, when they're trying to focus on these woke policies, what they need to focus on the fact that they have been busted selling human body parts from their morgue at their school. That's right. Taking the remains of unalive people, family members, unbeknownst to their family members, and selling them on the black market. Now, you're not going to believe this, and you may or may not know this, but organ harvesting, the black market for that, is a global network and it's huge. It's worth over, I think it's closer to more like $10 billion is what this industry is worth. And one thing that they do, they prey on illegal immigrants. They prey on immigrants because they don't have money, they don't have resources, and so they make offers to them. And when I say they're buying these body parts, we're talking about for a few $1,000s. It's not like they're getting $100,000 or life-changing money. Well, not life-changing maybe to you or I, but for an illegal immigrant that has nothing, it seems like their only hope. As a matter of fact, check out this clip of this video that's going to share some information, a little bit of information with you about how big this market is. And then after this video clip, I'm going to come back with more from the story of Harvard, show you who was accused of it and exactly how the hammer has come down and who else was involved, who actually buys these body parts. It's going to blow your mind. So check this clip out right here.
These brokers hide in the shadows.
¿Usted tiene está sano, su persona es sana?
When people have no money, when they have nothing else, kidneys are becoming the only form of currency available to them.
Sí, todo bien. ¿Sabe que puede vivir sin un riñón usted, verdad?
Back in 2018, Sangeeta Kashyap was looking forward to a fresh start. The offer was almost too good to be true. A stable job in Delhi with a generous salary and the dream of building up their savings and retirement fund. The day after her arrival, she was taken to a clinic somewhere in the city. She was told that her employers required a medical check. A few days later, she overheard herself described as a kidney donor during a hospital visit.
And this isn't something that's just happening in other places around the world. It happens here in the U.S. also. And they preying on illegal immigrants, Hispanic ones, really don't care what country they're from. They're preying on these people. They're catching them down bad. They're linking up with these shady doctors that are doing these things and abandoned warehouses. These people have no guarantee that they're even going to survive. And they're doing this to get money to send to their family and take care of themselves. And a lot of times the surgery is botched. The person may get the organ that they wanted, but the individual does not survive. So this is just another article here that goes more into, and this one specifically says how Latin America's organ trafficking industry preys on migration. And as you can see, this right here is from August 2024. That industry is almost 10 billion. And right here, as you see right here, let me enlarge this, and then I'll get into the actual more the Harvard study. This story here is about a doctor. Her name is Maria Amelia Matamoros. She found herself in a difficult position in late June 2024 when she got a message from her friend Marcos asking if it was possible to sell an organ for as much as $200,000. Okay, that's how desperate these people are getting. So let's go into this to the Harvard story. Ex-Harvard worker stole human head, skin, then sold it in the black market. Cedric Lodge admitted to transporting stolen human remains taken from cadavers donated to Harvard for medical research and education. Can you imagine finding out a member of your family? And this is just, a member of your family who thought they were doing a good thing. Their body may have been donated for research, or there are some bodies who weren't donated for research, who were supposed to be going to the morgue so they can go on to their to a final rest spot, or maybe even for cremation. And what happens is their bodies end up getting cut up and the parts getting sold, and the family has no idea. There's no idea. This story comes out right here on May 25th, 2025. A former manager, let me get this out of the way. A former manager at the Harvard Medical School morgue has pleaded guilty to stealing dissected human heads, brains, skin, hands, faces, organs, and selling them on the black market. Cedric Lodge, 57, admitted on May 21st in a federal court in Pennsylvania to interstate transport of human stolen remains taken from cadavers donated to Harvard for medical research and education. From 2018 through at least March 2020, Lodge exploited his access to the morgue to remove body parts from cadavers that had already been used for academic purposes, but had not yet been cremated, buried, or returned per the donor's agreements. So if they were just supposed to give eyes and then supposed to be returned, but they decided, hey man, they got eyes, they got a liver, they got this, that, and the other. This is what they were doing. If you're enjoying this video, do me a solid, hit that thumbs up, because I'll never ask you for a cash app or a super chat, but you hitting that like button, it really helps the channel a lot. It helps spread the information out. And if you aren't subscribed to the channel, subscribe. And then once you do, make sure you hit that notification bell and select all. That way you'll be notified when I upload new videos. According to prosecutors, Lodge would I apologize, I didn't finish that part. These remains donated altruistically to the Harvard Anatomical Gift Program were taken without knowledge or permission of Harvard, the donors, or their families. According to prosecutors, Lodge would transport the stolen remains from the morgue in Boston to his home in Goffstown, New Hampshire. He and his wife, Denise Lodge, then sold the body parts to buyers across state lines, sometimes shipping them directly, and at other times allowing the buyers to pick them up in person. The trafficking network stretched across Massachusetts, New Hampshire, and Pennsylvania that we know of. One man in Pennsylvania paid Denise Lodge $37,355.16, nearly Rs 32 lakhs over 3 years, according to the federal indictment obtained by People magazine. Payments were made via PayPal and had memos such as head number 7 and brains. The indictment also says that Lodge supplied a woman in Massachusetts with human skin, knowing she intended to have it tanned. On at least one occasion, he met with her at the morgue and provided 2 dissected faces. We are appalled to learn that something so disturbing could happen on our campus, a community dedicated to healing and serving others, said George DeLay, Dean of the Faculty of Medicine, and Edward Hundert, Dean for Medical Education, in a joint statement last year. Cedric Lodge now faces a maximum sentence of 10 years in federal prison, a period of supervised release, and a fine. Sentencing will be determined by Chief U.S. District Judge Matthew W. Brand based on federal statutes and guidelines. Lodge's wife, Denise Lodge, pleaded guilty last year and is waiting her sentence. Several others have also been charged and pleaded guilty in the case. Lodge admitted to selling human remains to Joshua Taylor and Andrew Insanian. Some buyers, like Jeremy Pauly, later sold the remains to others for profit. Joshua Taylor also pleaded guilty and is yet to be sentenced. Andrew Insanian admitted guilt. Matthew Lampe was given 15 months in prison, and Angelo Pereira was sentenced to 18 months. Another accused, Katrina McLean, who is said to have brought remains from Lodge, has denied the charges and has yet to enter a plea. Now, let's check out this video that goes even more in detail about what was going on. Check this out.
This man has been buying human body parts, and if you think that's weird, hold on tight. This story gets worse. A Harvard morgue manager has been selling those body parts to him from donated bodies. An estimated 20,000 people donate their bodies to science every year. Cedric Lodge here was a morgue manager and worked with his wife and 2 others to profit off this, one of which opened a store that specialized in, quote, creepy dolls, oddities, and bone art. They posted on Instagram, "If you're in the market for human bones, hit me up." Polly here was a big buyer at this store. So what was he doing with all those body parts? Well, while he was making leather, but he was picky with his bodies. The morgue manager would let Polly into the Harvard Medical School morgue so he could pick which bodies he wanted to buy.
The guy's name is Cedric Lodge, and he and his wife were accused of stealing heads, brains, bones, skin, and other remains and taking them to their home in New Hampshire. And from that point, he would put them up online to sell them. Who do you think the buyer would be for these remains? Maybe it's for life-saving procedures or underground research? It's so bad. It's so bad. They were selling them to oddity shops who were bedazzling them and selling them on the internet. One of these stores was run by Katrina McLean. She runs Cat's Creepy Creations, and she was already being investigated by the FBI earlier this year for doing this. The official report said that the morgue director would let her come into the morgue and pick which person she wanted remains from, and then she would flip them and sell them at flea markets. Like, this is a real person who donated their body to science. And people weren't even hiding this. Like, look at this person who PayPal's the director for head number 7 and brains. This is just a nice reminder that there's no such thing as the ethical sourcing of human remains.
That is wild. Now, here's the news report of what actually ended up happening. Oh, let me stop that. What ended up happening with Lodge. Check this out.
2 Pennsylvania men are tied to a disturbing case making national headlines. They are charged with buying and selling stolen human remains. Jeremy Pauley from Bloomsburg is one of 6 people charged. Investigators say he purchased skin, vital organs, and stillborns from out of state and had them shipped to his home. Pauley and another man are accused of reselling the body parts, netting $100,000. Authorities say much of the remains in question came from the Harvard Medical School. Harvard called a family in New Hampshire, informing them remains of their father were likely sold on the black market.
Can't believe that. Like, what? Eyes, I mean, skin, I mean, it's just like disgusting. I don't even know. I don't want to know. I just feel bad for everybody that's victimized with this. It's just not right.
Investigators say the manager of the school's morgue allowed Joshua Taylor of West Lawn Berks County to examine cadavers in person and choose which ones to purchase. Harvard Medical School is now working to find all of the families involved.
Did you hear that it even said,
thank you very much, Mr. Vitale.
Did you hear that it even said that they were doing it for stillborns? That's wow, that's crazy. So with everything going on, Harvard more focused about being able to bring disruptors and corruptors into the country, focused on defending men and women's sports, focused on defending woke ideologies, while people's loved ones, people's family members that have entrusted the university to allow scientific research to expand and to grow, they're not paying attention to their own backyard. And look at what's happening. People's family members are outraged, and I would be too, to know that someone I love is having their body's parts disrupted and done whatever with. And this is just scratching the surface. There's probably way darker parts to this story that the lamestream media is covering up. They didn't want to cover this story. Do you know that there are only like 2 or 3 publications that are even covering this right now? Because it's Harvard. But let it have been another university, like University of Texas or something, that wasn't one of these prestigious Ivy League schools. Oh my God, one of these left-leaning schools, man, they'll be calling for the heads of the dean. They're not even calling for the president to be fired. And that's a dang on shame. But just another example of what goes on in left-wing loony world. You know, so hey, listen, if you stuck in there and you watch this wild and crazy video up to this point, I really do appreciate it. And if you haven't already, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you aren't. Tell me what you think about this story going on. It's a prestigious Harvard that's more focused on white woke ideologies than protecting your family members and your loved ones' body parts and remains, who have done this, like I said, altruistically, and have been screwed over by these left-wing freak jobs over there at that school. Let me get off of that. But, you know, tell me what you think. Most importantly, I want you to stay safe and you be great. I'm Brian Maxwell saying I look forward to seeing you at the top. Over and out, y'all.